Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
Yes, hi, audience. This is Firefly, and this episode is really hilarious. It's about Butterfly's trip down to Dodger Stadium, and it's classic. But for some weird reason, this episode and one other one had like a little bit of a cracking sound. So if that's gonna totally bug you, just like maybe, you know, stop now. But if you think you can handle it, it's like a little cracking sound. This is a pretty classic episode. So just wanted to let you guys know and hope you still listen. Okay, take care. What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going on?
Well, we have an interesting rabbit hole that we're going to do today because you kind of had an idea.
I know it is a rabbit hole. I went to the Dodgers baseball game the other night.
Dodger Stadium?
Dodger Stadium.
Chavez Ravine?
It's like
Aptly named.
it's like kind of ghetto. Like I'm kind of scared to go there because
Dude, LA is a collapsed third world hellhole.
it's a total third world hellhole. And where Dodger Stadium is like kind of in the heart of the hellhole.
Totally. Like
So
Escape from LA, I think, took
yeah,
place partly there.
it did. So like you have to drive through it
Yeah.
to get there, you know.
Like you might get someone throwing a Molotov cocktail on you there.
I was like half expecting that.
You know why? Because you have to go on the Harbor Freeway for a little bit.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
like
gnarly.
that's where the cockroaches are throwing Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
Like so you have to like literally go to their hive.
Exactly. And like when it's so weird because it's funny you said that because when like you're driving on that freeway, like there's this section like right before you get off to go to the stadium and it's like a rock wall like right next to the lane. It's like you're enclosed in this like it's like these really tight lanes and you have to like they're like rounding corners like tight corners on the
It's
freeway.
micromanagement.
It's micromanagement, but it's like super old. It's like they made the lanes like more narrow or something back then and I don't know. Anyway, it's gnarly. And then you get there well, so when you get there, it's just like a total zoo. It's a total zoo. You know, it's like there's so many people and they're kind of gross.
It's ghetto
They're
people.
kind of gross.
I know. Well, dude, it's kind of, dude, sports has become kind of like the lowest common denominator in
I
our
think
society
so.
because it's like, you know what it is like sports fans are so it's to be a sports fan is like a Walker behavior.
I know. So this is what I thought of. Like, I mean, I want to go back to the actual like I want to go take you I want to take you step by step through like the whole process of like entering and stuff because there was
Yes.
some stuff that
Let's walk through
there
it.
was some stuff that went
Oh
there.
no, no, I want to experience Dodger Stadium in 2025.
But I want to jump ahead just a little bit that to tell you and our listeners the reason why I thought this was an interesting rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So when I'm finally like sitting in my seat and I look around and I see like this whole place is just like packed with people and I look around and they're all just, like stuffing their faces, just eating like all this garbage food, like they've got like trays and mounds of food on their
Totally.
laps. And most of these people were like really fat
Totally.
and of course covered in tattoos. So they're like just sitting there, just stuffing their faces. And I'm like, ew, I'm looking around. And then I look down on the field and all these like athletes are down there, like warming up and stretching and like, getting ready for their big performance. And it dawned on me, I thought, wow, I'm like in the freaking Colosseum
That's
about to
right.
watch like the gladiators go
That's
to war.
totally it.
You know?
That's totally it. And it's kind of like it's like faux gladiator games that we have now
Yeah.
because they don't fight to the death.
No,
What if they did that? What
I
if like
know.
the Dodgers beat the Red Sox and the Red Sox get killed?
Yeah.
Like they get
Like
like murdered on the field.
it's kind of been it's kind of tamed it
They
down
tempered it down a little
over
bit.
the years.
Yeah.
But I totally felt like, oh my gosh.
Like what if players were slaves and they have no choice and they gotta play and win?
Well, that's interesting too, because I was talking to my mom about this whole thing this morning, and she was kind of like implying that, I said, well, these guys make like, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And she goes, that might not always be the case. Like they might end up not making that much money in the future. And like, what if they get told they have to do this? And I was like, that could be like in a communist society. They're
That's
told
true.
like, you will be a baseball player
Yeah.
and here's your pittance. You know what I mean? Like that could totally happen,
Well, that's true. And
Because
then there's people who, like we've talked about, the media says, choose an identity.
yeah,
And here's one of them. You can be a pro athlete.
yeah,
But I think you might have to sell your soul to be a pro athlete.
I kind of think so.
What if? I mean, if you
Yeah.
got to sell your soul to be in Hollywood, they're probably going to do the same thing
I
for
mean,
sports.
the way I see it, like at least with the athletes, like you see they actually are doing what, like they have to be physical and they have to be able
Hmm.
to like hit a ball really hard or whatever, like actors, there's like a diamond, there are a dime a dozen. You can find thousands of people that can do the same stuff. But we're going to talk more about that in another
But what if,
episode.
but what if like they only select certain people who are
Yeah,
pliable,
right.
but then they take them and practice with them all really, and they know how to make them really good,
I
so they
think
can because it seems like it's all entertainment, it's all a show.
I think that could very well be the case. Like I think that, yeah, like Shohei Ohtani is amazing and he's super talented and athletic and he's great, but there could be like 100 other people that could be Shohei Ohtani. Like maybe they needed the right guidance or whatever, you know what I mean? So who knows?
So I wonder, maybe what if he's got some script? He's gonna have like some spectacular Tiger Woods downfall where his wife hits him with a 9 iron and he crashes into a tree or something like that. Because
Maybe.
he got paid so much money, that guy.
I think he got paid like 750 million or something
Yeah.
crazy. So I almost wonder if, like, we talk about the pendulum swinging and things changing. How sustainable is that kind of salary situation?
Yeah.
Like how many, it's like, so the Dodgers now, it seems like they sort of stacked the team. Like they got all these like top notch players and they had to put out all this money. And I think that's why they charge like $15 for a Coke. You know what I mean? It's just,
Oh my God.
it's insane. So, but like how sustainable is that? Like how long will they be able to keep paying these players all these millions of dollars? You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
think it's another harbinger of the end of civilization, perhaps.
Hmm.
You know how we talked about how like Ozempic,
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of Ozempic users in the crowd at Dodger Stadium.
Oh, for sure.
They should actually have an Ozempic
I,
stand.
I thought about that too.
Oh,
'Cause,
what
yeah,
if the guy's like, the guy goes, peanuts,
yeah.
peanuts, you like walking down the aisle. What if Ozempic?
People are
And
like,
then like, oh, dude, how about in the parking lot they got generic Ozempic from Tijuana?
yeah.
And there's guys over there, they're going, hey, I got Ozempic.
Or you know what I could totally see? You know how there's always a giveaway? Like, yeah, like when you get there, there's like either they're giving away a hat or something. The other night it was awesome because they were giving away like a ring with
Yeah.
a Super Bowl,
World
I
Series.
mean,
World Series ring?
World Series ring. Yeah, it
Okay.
was kind of cool. But what if they were giving away Ozempic?
Dude, I bet
There's
you a
your,
lot of takers.
there's your Ozempic.
Oh, what if they had like kind of like those little freezers that sell ice cream sandwiches,
Yeah,
and the guy's walking around rolling it, but it's actually Ozempic like in a freezer,
totally.
and there's like a huge line of fat tattooed people waiting to get their Ozempic at Dodger Stadium. Like, whoa, party!
Oh my God.
But who knows? Maybe you go get a hot dog and you go, I need Ozempic with my hot dog.
Yeah.
That's maybe how they work
Instead
it.
of relish, you get but so anyway, back to the entrance. So there,
Yeah.
there was this line that this lady was walking around, and she's like, "Do you have the?" It was like everybody in this one line had to have like a certain app on their phone that was the good. They were calling it Go Ahead. Is it? Are you Go Ahead? Are you Go Ahead? And we were like, we think we are, but then we realized no, we're not. You know what Go Ahead was?
It's an app that you download that gives you special like cuts in line.
Well, it would seem that way, but what it was is that you have to scan your face, and
Oh,
supposedly it's going to be faster because it takes longer to scan your ticket
you
than
know
to
what?
scan your face.
I have a conspiracy theory about that.
Well, I do too,
Go ahead.
because I mean, how come it takes longer to scan your actual ticket than it takes to scan your face? Like that doesn't really seem right. You know what I mean? That doesn't really add up.
It seems
So
like they're corrally.
they're corralling. So they were like encouraging everybody to get this app because it's going to go faster. You're going to be in the fast line. Well, you know what happened? I'm like, I'm not scanning my face. Like, that's crazy. So I got in the other line, and the other line, like,
Went quicker?
passed up the face scanners, like,
See?
double the speed.
That'd be like if you went to Disneyland, you had the fast pass, and then some like fat dude just in the regular line still went on the ride before you.
Mhm.
So mad. You'd be like, but I got a fast pass.
Totally. So what's your conspiracy? Because I have one too.
Well, so my conspiracy there is, I'm kind of seeing that they want everyone to kind of get into the Palantir.
Right.
And I think the whole like push is face scanning
Hmm.
and biometric like passcodes and
Exactly.
thumbprints and you know all of that stuff. I think it's because they want to start building profiles on people.
Exactly. That's what they're doing. And
Because why do they want profiles? Why do they want profiles? Because then they can say, oh, well, guess what? We got digital currency now, and we don't like you.
yeah, so
So your car doesn't start, and you don't get to buy your hot dog
yeah,
at Dodger Stadium.
yeah. In fact, you probably can't even enter Dodger
You
Stadium.
don't get to go to
Yeah,
Dodgers. You stay
you
home.
stay home. Although we want
So
your money though, so
so I think that kind of face scan thing. Do you know what's weird is you had a face scan thing at the LAX too,
well,
where
they're
you said no, thank you.
yeah, they're trying to implement this everywhere. And I think, we have to really be diligent about just continuing to reject these ideas because they do have reasons for them. And so many people are just like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, no big deal. But no, there is a big deal because there's a plan for it. And I just reject it. But I think what they're doing is they're putting them in like airports now and sporting events, and they're making it optional.
It's
It's
optional,
optional. But I think
but we keep a profile on those who don't.
if enough people start just going along with it and not refusing it, they're going to make it so it's mandatory. Because remember during Cooties, they were like asking people for like proof of the pokey poke to go
Mhm.
into these kind of events.
Yeah,
Well, and now did you know that all of these places, all of these stadiums don't accept cash for anything?
no
Even
cash.
the guys that are going like up and down the aisles, like selling the hot dogs and the popcorn,
What are you selling money?
yeah, they don't take cash.
What?
Yeah,
So how do you pay the guy? Oh, here's my
he's
card.
got a little card machine that he carries with him.
Mm.
So there's no cash. And so if you go to one of these events and you want to eat anything or you want to have a drink, you have to pay by card. Although I was at I don't know if all the stadiums are like this, but I was at a minor league one in South Carolina, and I actually talked to the lady at one of the drink stands about that, and she was totally like in agreement. She's like, "Oh yeah, they're totally trying to make everything digital." And she goes, "But you can go to the office and pay them cash for a
Credits.
prepaid credit thing if you want," which just makes it they're just making it difficult and inconvenient for you.
I think
You know what I
so.
mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
why do they want you to not use cash? Because if you use cash, then maybe you can say whatever you want and just buy stuff with cash.
yeah. Well, I have a theory about this. I think they've made it like this is mandatory basically. If you want to eat or drink at a event like this, you have to use a card. And I think that's the first step in making it mandatory everywhere. Like they're putting them in these event venues, so you have no choice. And eventually they're going to be having them like at, grocery stores, wherever. They will not accept anything but the card, and the card will be CBDCs, digital currency.
You know what you're making me think about too, and you've always been very diligent about is you got to keep your boycott list going
Exactly.
because you and I have talked about where you get to the point where like I boycott pretty much everything,
Hmm.
and then you start caving in and going, well, whatever. But no, I think you got to stick to your
You
boycotts.
got to stick to your boycotts. I mean, I know, like, I think with smaller businesses, it's a lot easier. And those are the ones that can stand their ground. Like I just will not do business with a place that does not accept cash. That doesn't mean I have to pay in cash. That just means if their policy is no cash, I just politely tell them that I don't do business with those kind of
You
business.
have a principle.
And
It's
I
a
tell
matter of
them why.
principle.
Yeah, and I tell them why. I tell them that cash is legal tender, and they should be accepting cash,
That's right.
and I tell them that that should be an option, and make sure they let their management know that I'm taking my business elsewhere.
And they're bummed about you
Mhm.
doing that. And you know what? I think maybe some people probably feel the same way, but they figure, well, why should I bother saying anything? It's not going to change anything. But maybe it does.
You know what? I think it's important to say why,
Say,
because if you
yeah,
just say, "Oh, okay," and just leave, they never know.
yeah.
But if you say
At
why,
least say it.
yeah, you don't have to be mean or rude
Let them
about
make
it.
fun of you or whatever, but
Yeah,
at least say it. I think that's a good point.
yeah,
Like, we need to speak up
we do.
because otherwise we're going to get consumed.
Yeah,
We're going to get subsumed.
yeah,
And then that country from 1948 is going to be like, now, now,
yeah.
Dodger Stadium, now, now, now. So tell me more about your experience.
So anyway, I think the main takeaway was I just had this vision of like, oh my gosh, I'm in the Colosseum and I'm about ready to watch the gladiators fight to their death.
Totally.
And
And the crowd, you're looking around
the
and you're
crowd
going, oh my God, we live in a dystopian,
the,
collapsed third world
yeah,
hellhole.
the crowd is just like so gross. And well, to make matters worse, like it's especially difficult when you're wearing the other team's colors,
Well, yeah.
because I'm not a Dodgers fan.
Well,
So
they had a dude.
I was there to see the other team.
Did you hear about that dude?
The dude a few years back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time I've gone to Dodger Stadium, I've been like scared for my life. I'm not kidding you.
I know.
Like,
Well, the team,
remember I saw you the other day and I said, I hope I see you again.
I
Because
know.
I was like, I might get mugged or like jumped or something at Dodger Stadium.
Well, the chief of police came out like 2 years ago and said, by the way, if you come to LA, I just want to tell you, we can't ensure your safety.
We can't protect you.
It was like, Karen Bass
You're
defunded the
taking your
police.
life in your own
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
what?
when you go to like someplace like Dodger Stadium, I feel like what's really ironic to me is too like I feel like it kind of brings out like just like the dregs of society, but
Totally.
they're spending like hundreds of dollars to be there. Like I feel like they're probably spending like a lot of their
Dude, I
income,
trip out on that at
you know?
Disneyland too. Like
Yeah.
I go to Disneyland and it's like a bunch of walkers and third world
Mhm.
barbarians. And I'm like, dude, how do these people have this money? Because it's so
I
expensive.
know. I feel like the crowd at Disneyland isn't usually as like ghetto though as like at a sporting
Well, the
event.
Dodgers
You
now are kind
know,
of like a gang insignia.
it's like a gang insignia.
Like wearing a
Yeah.
Dodger cap, it's almost like you're claiming that
It
you're in some
it
like
it seems that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
like in the
And then
Kardashians.
like so can you imagine like being there in a sea of blue, everybody's wearing blue Dodger stuff, and then like being like the black sheep that's wearing the other
It's
team's
almost
colors.
like you
They
go
were
like
like booing, they were actually literally booing like when we walked by.
totally.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you went to the crypt party and you wore your blood and stuff. So that's what
It's
happened.
actually red.
It's
Isn't that
red.
funny?
You're one
It
of
was
the
like the
bloods.
red and the blue.
Well, you know what? That's the thing, man. I mean, who cares? They had a guy get in a fight at the 49ers game too, and it was like, you're rooting for the other team? Kick your ass.
Yeah, that's how they are. It's crazy.
It's so stupid.
But anyway, back to the Roman thing. I thought about that. That quote. It was actually somebody like from the Roman times. His name was Juvenal, which was kind of weird. But he said, "Give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt." Give them bread and circuses and they will
And what does
never
that remind
revolt.
you of?
So that reminded me when I looked around and I saw all these people just like distracted. It's like the whole idea is keep them subdued, medicated, and distracted and with this stuff, and they'll never question what's really going on in the world.
Brave
New.
World. And that's exactly.
Yes.
So Brave New World, what they did was they kind of like founded their whole, because remember, it's a model.
Yeah,
Remember,
it's a model.
all this like it's
Yeah.
like it's a more effective
It's a more
model.
effective model than the
The
1984.
1984 model is effective, but this 1984 is not as effective as the New World Order model.
Yeah.
So what is that model predicated on? It was the Romans, and I thought it was Julius Caesar who said that, but it was a juvenile
Yes,
guy.
it was this guy Juvenal, yeah.
Interesting.
But it was during the time of
It was
Caesar.
during the time of
Yeah.
Julius Caesar. He definitely had espoused that notion. And you keep people plied with bread and circus. What does that mean? That you keep them distracted.
That means keep them distracted and they'll never question what's going on. So all the things that are happening in the world, like, I think how we've talked before about how people it's just too much for most people. And so they just kind of like whatever they know something's not right, but they like
You know who Dodger Stadium is filled with? The girl that used to work with me at Trader Joe's that goes, you're kind of intense.
yeah.
Because that's what now you're intense. They kind of bring out stuff that I don't even want to talk about.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it.
I want to go to the Dodger game and I'm gonna get tattoos.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take some Ozempic and we're gonna
get some nachos.
I'm gonna get a huge thing of nachos and I'm gonna get a hot dog and a beer and it's gonna cost me about $55.
More than that.
Probably more than that. And I'm gonna just go and I'm gonna watch the game and I'm gonna get like way more emotionally invested in the outcome of this baseball game than I probably should be.
Totally.
And that's why I want to live my life. And then you go, wait, just hold on one second. We've gone over the precipice in Western civilization. We're in full free fall. We're gonna collapse.
That is like so far above what most people
They're
can
all,
even
can I get some
comprehend.
peanuts? No. Hold on. Focus for a second. We need to go to the life rafts because you can't become an immoral bottomless pit where civilization's gonna end.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna go and have my seat and show who's coming up pretty soon.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And I mean, like, I guess, some people might be thinking, well, you were at the game, so you were I mean, yeah, everybody likes to be entertained, but you gotta like still realize that this entertainment is a 2-hour distraction. This is not like
you don't
the world.
identify. Your identity is not wrapped
my
up.
identity is not wrapped up.
Like,
I'm too busy watching all the other people.
Dude, I don't even watch sports anymore. I have see, when I was a kid, I cared about the characters. Not the characters. They are kind of characters.
Well, I have a little fan that I have to,
You got a little fan.
I have a little fan that I have to take care of
and when you're a kid, you look up to them and you're like, oh my God, they're like your heroes.
Yeah.
Like Magic Johnson, I was totally stoked on Magic. And I got to go see them. But then now I have no emotional investment in any outcomes in sports because I realize what it is.
Yeah.
Plus, look at how much emphasis we put on sports.
Well, yeah, I mean, like these people were like and then after a few beers, a lot of these people get gnarly. Like they get really like super mad and stuff. Like if the game is not going their way. You know, like
Hey, Mr. Tag!
it's like happening to them personally.
Do you remember that commercial with Bob Uecker back in the day when he's sitting in the crowd. I can't remember what the commercial's for. It's probably for like Preparation H or something like that.
Oh, great.
But he's like,
Perfect.
so he's sitting down and the usher comes by and goes, Mr. Euchre, you're not in the correct seat. And he tells the guy sitting next to him, I must be in the front row. And then they see him way in the back and he's up in the nosebleed seats. But then the guy at second slides and he's like, he missed the tag. He missed the
I
tag.
never saw that.
But see, that's the thing. It's like, dude, people are like getting emotionally invested in outcomes.
Emotionally invested.
Like, here's the thing. Like, let's say that I now I'm a Dodger fan, so I go get myself a Dodger hat.
Mhm.
Dude, I got Dodger shirts. I got a Shohei jersey.
Total garb. Yeah.
You know, I go get a Dodger tattoo.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah. Oh yeah. For
So
sure.
now the Dodgers win the World Series. Am I winning anything? Do I benefit from that?
I know. This is what I don't know. I don't quite understand that. Like to be so emotionally invested in,
Okay.
like if you're playing on the team, I get it. I get it. Okay. If you're playing, even if you're playing in a like on a city league or something like that, you want to win.
Yeah.
This is a person. It's personal for
I
you.
can see that.
But if you're just rooting for a team, like I mean, yeah, you want them to win. Of course, sure. I was watching. I wanted my team to win too, and it was exciting because it was a really exciting game.
But like you're devastated.
I'm not going to be like devastated.
Or here's a new kind of. I think this might be MK Ultra.
It's MK Ultra.
When the Lakers win the championship and they go burn stuff down.
Oh, I know.
That's a new outcropping of like kind of why.
It's like they got
like,
activated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, the outcome of this sport event, I'm gonna go burn something.
Right.
They did that for the Dodgers too.
Yeah.
Or they'll go like just riot, or they'll go like.
Well, I was kind of scared because like my team, that I was rooting for won the other night. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna get jumped on the way to the parking lot.
You know what's so funny? Do you remember back in 1987 or 88, Kirk Gibson?
No.
He was one of the Dodgers, and he hit a home run in the World Series, and they beat the Oakland A's.
Ooh.
And it was at
the Oakland
Stadium.
A's used to be good.
Yeah. So I remember I fell asleep during the game, but then I just happened to wake up right when Kirk Gibson came onto bat, and he was like injured, and it was big dramatic. He was against Dennis Eckersley, who's like the closer for the Athletics, and so he comes out and hits a 2-run home run to win the game.
Wow.
A walk-off, and he's like limping around the bases.
Oh,
and it was something totally dramatic. It was probably all fake. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably all staged. But anyways, it was cool. And then as the ball's going over the fence, you look in the it always plays in the highlight. There's somebody's brake lights who was trying to beat the traffic and leave early.
Oh my God.
So they beat the traffic by 10 minutes, but they missed the best home run of all time.
So you know what? That's so funny because that kind of happened to me. In fact, maybe that was the game. I don't know. No, it would have been later than that. But I think the first game I ever went to, the first like Major League Baseball game.
Yeah.
I think I must have been in college. So my boyfriend took me to see this Dodger game, and I was so bored. I thought baseball was so boring.
It is.
And I was like, nothing was happening. And I'm like, oh, like, can we just go? And so we left. And when we got to the parking lot, we heard like the crowd just like explode. Somebody got a big home run. And I was like,
I left you early. It is, dude. I mean, a baseball game's long.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be even longer. I think they cut it.
They actually have like a bunch of new rules now. So like they keep it moving, which is good. I mean,
I watched the Dodger game when I was a little kid. It was like 21 innings. And like Fernando was like playing third.
Oh my God.
And like, dude, and my dad was like, no, still watching.
That's like a Santana song.
Yeah,
it's like never ending.
Dude, it keeps on.
So anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because
such a profound insight.
It's I feel like over all of these, hundreds of years, like, I don't know, people haven't really changed. Like they still want to be entertained and they still can be easily distracted. And it seems like, these organized events are a way of keeping people that way.
So, and I think it's also kind of a sick character trait of humans that we want to see blood. Like UFC is kind of our new gladiator games.
Oh, totally.
Like we want to see men just go into a ring and kill each other.
Fight each other.
We love that.
That's gnarly. Like I don't know. I'm not into like that or boxing. Like
you ever heard of St. Augustine?
Yeah.
So he lived like back in the Roman times. I can't remember exactly what years he lived, but like, within a few hundred years after Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's talking about how he converted to Christianity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was holding him back was he couldn't stop going to the gladiator games and watching people die. And so he got addicted to watching people die.
Wow, that's so creepy.
And so, so his book, The Confessions, was him coming to terms with the fact that it was like his drug. So he kept caving in. And what he was caving into was going to the games because they would actually kill people.
Yeah.
So you would go to Dodger Stadium and everybody's at the crowd,
Yeah.
but now like you get to watch someone get killed.
Like you're like rooting for Otani to get his head chopped off.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be
which
like
I
that.
think I would probably start tuning in. Yeah, like, dude, if sports suddenly was like that, I would probably start tuning in. Like, what if like on a PGA,
A lot of people would.
dude, like on a PGA, dude, like all of a sudden the announcer goes, "Now, if he misses this putt, he will be beheaded."
Oh my God. Calm and quiet and polite.
Like, could you imagine the pressure is if you know you get beheaded if you miss this putt?
Right. So that's interesting that you
People might do
bring up golf because so golf and tennis, I feel like
it.
always have had like more of like an upscale crowd, don't you think?
Yes, but
Like,
I was pointing out something
yeah,
yesterday to you, right?
yeah.
Golf has kind of become ghettoized.
It's sort of becoming more mainstream.
Well, it's become mainstream, yeah, but it's
Yeah,
also ghettoized.
yeah.
When I started playing golf, it was like, first of all, like mostly white people. We would let some like African Americans and Latinos, but like mostly it was like, oh, you're like the token. Now it's like everybody, which is cool. I want it to be everybody, but now the etiquette and the
The
culture
etiquette.
around golf has regressed, kind of like the way the Overton window has shifted in our culture.
Yeah.
Golf has gotten more ghetto.
Well,
Like
that's
for instance, so I went, because I practice golf every day. So I went to the golf course yesterday to go practice golf, and it was toward the end of the evening. Now, granted, it's toward the end of the evening, but it's still the golf course is still open technically,
right.
and the cart guy is blasting rap music.
Whoa.
That would have never been acceptable when back in the 80s when I was playing golf.
Mhm.
We were like, I had to take etiquette tests to play some golf courses.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
you had to know you don't step in people's line.
Uh-huh.
You are quiet while other people are hitting and still while
Uh,
other people are hitting.
uh-huh.
There's etiquette. Etiquette is out the window now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an example of it's like a smaller sort of picture of our whole
It's a
society.
microcosm.
It's a microcosm of our whole society. Like
Yes.
we've talked before about how, when people are dressed nice,
Mhm.
they behave nicer.
Yeah.
People used to dress up to get on airplanes and stuff,
Yeah.
and now it's just like you're just like in a city bus in the sky.
Everybody just walks around in like Slavovian clothes.
Yeah. So I think like golf was always, the men weren't the men always supposed to wear collared shirts and
Absolutely. You had a tire
yeah,
that you were expected, and also there was conduct that was unbecoming.
yeah.
Now there's no conduct that's unbecoming.
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't really spend a lot of time around golf courses, but I was at that one event that you and I were both at recently, and I know that's kind of more of like a ghetto golf course, but I was noticing like a
Yeah.
lot of the people there were just kind of they weren't really dressed nice. They were just wearing like shorts and like tank
Remember how I was
tops.
dressed?
You looked really nice.
I was
You looked
totally in
like
golf attire.
you looked like a golf professional.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
totally.
That's how golfers should dress.
Yeah.
You should have a nice collared shirt that's pressed and looks clean.
Hmm.
You have a nice clean hat.
Hmm.
You have your shirt tucked in with a belt.
Yeah.
You have nice clean pants. You have nice socks, nice golf shoes. You keep your glove nice and clean. You don't look like a slob out there
Yeah.
because it reflects negatively on you.
Right.
That's gone out the window.
That's gone out the
The other
window.
thing too is like if there was a degenerate hanging out in the parking lot, golfers would frown upon that. Yesterday
Yeah.
at the golf course I was at, there was like full on like
Degenerates.
gangbangers like blasting like music with their tinted windows in the parking lot.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, that would have been frowned upon.
Yeah.
That would have been like, people would have made some phone calls.
Right.
Excuse me, can we get the riffraff removed?
Yeah, I feel like there's no decorum. Like no, everybody's just kind
I
of
mean, I can
like
understand people being
gross.
like, I hate snooty, uppity people,
Right.
but there's something to be said for snooty and uppity in terms of, we have a certain decorum that we upkeep.
Yeah.
We have a certain decency.
Right.
Like even golf also kind of went hand in hand with like marriage and appropriate behavior and
Yeah.
that's why Tiger not only was he black, but he also like slept with a bunch of whores. And so like
Oh, he did.
oh yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, that's what happened with Tiger.
Oh, okay. Is that
So
why his wife left him?
yeah, that's why she hit him with the 9-iron. So what
Did she
happened?
hit him with a 9-iron?
Yeah. So
Wow, I missed all that.
so Tiger is kind of like the downfall of Western civilization. So he kind of like
Yeah.
represents it.
Yeah.
So he goes into the PGA Tour,
Uh-huh.
which was always a very prestigious. Golf was prestigious.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the Masters back in the '60s, it was like Arnold Palmer and Jack
Right.
Nicklaus.
And I feel like you kind of have to have like a decent amount of money to like kind of get into that sport because most of it
Yeah.
it's taking place at like country clubs and stuff.
That's
just
right.
like tennis,
That's true. And like I was a public course kid, and that was definitely a thing. If you're a public course kid, then you had to go pay every time,
Mhm.
and the courses aren't as nice, and you got to make a reservation. The country club kids definitely had
An edge.
an edge because they
Mhm.
can just go out to a beautiful, awesome, well manicured, difficult course and practice anytime they want.
Right.
But they're all little spoiled brats, so I can usually beat them. So, but what I'm saying is, Tiger kind of brought the ghettoization of golf. So
Ah.
he comes on the tour, and now suddenly it's like, he's breaking the glass ceiling in terms of like African Americans in golf.
Oh.
But then, so everyone goes, that's good, that's good, that's good. But then he goes and sleeps with like hundreds of whores while he's married. And then, and then his wife finds out, loses her mind, and goes and hits him in the head with a 9-iron, causing him to black out and drive into a tree. And it was such a spectacular downfall that he couldn't hide it.
So she hit him while he was driving?
I can't remember all the dynamics. There was a 9-iron, there was an SUV, there was tied in with injuries, and then there was a crash.
Yeah, I remember the SUV and the crash. I don't remember the details.
There was a 9-iron involved.
Yeah.
So, anyways, she was bummed because it came out that it wasn't like he fell in love with another woman.
Yeah.
No, he was like disgustingly having sex with like whores everywhere.
Wow.
And everyone kind of found out.
Yeah.
So, my point is that he kind of ghettoized golf,
Mhm.
and
He wasn't a good example.
it's kind of a microcosm of like even Dodger Stadium. When I was a kid, but Dodger Stadium was a safe place. It was a wonderful place.
Mhm.
I went to a Dodger game when I was like 10 years old. It was one of my most memorable experiences. It was fun. It was exciting, and the parking lot was totally safe.
Yeah.
It,
It's not like that
it was
anymore.
yeah, it's not like that anymore.
No. Plus you have to pay $40 to park.
40
$40 to park. They've paid for that parking lot probably like 500 times by now.
I mean,
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And look at how people still will just hand over the money for Disney and hand over the money. But but everybody still wants to complain about how much money they've got, but they've got money for that kind of crap.
I know.
Dude, take that money and go get groceries for 2 weeks.
Right. Seriously.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think that's interesting, the compare and contrast.
Yeah.
Because we are Rome.
It's like we're Rome.
We're Rome.
I was at the Colosseum the other night watching gladiators
We're Rome
fight to the
2.0.
death.
The only thing is like kind of lame because we don't actually have that. That'd be cool if we had that.
I know.
But we don't even have that. We have like fake that.
I know. But it's still the same. I don't think that humans have like evolved like the way we should have. I mean, I guess they're not chopping their heads off and killing each other. So maybe we have evolved
maybe.
slightly.
I think we've definitely devolved since the 50s.
Devolved. We've devolved.
Since the
Totally.
50s.
Yeah, because in the 50s, I think people probably would have dressed nicely to go watch a baseball game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think they would have been paying like the equivalent of $15 for a Coke.
No,
You know what I mean?
For a quarter, you probably got a hot dog and
And a Coke. Yeah.
Totally.
And that was probably like, maybe, not even half an hour's worth of your salary,
That's right.
where like now you're spending like, I mean, the average person is probably spending over an hour of their salary to buy something to eat and drink.
Well, let me ask you this.
2 hours of their
Let
salary.
me ask you this. How much do you guys spend roughly?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I mean,
You
I
don't
think
know.
I think the tickets were like a lot.
So just
Like
roughly
several hundred.
ballpark. So
Well,
you're
yeah,
talking
I
tickets,
think maybe.
you're talking food while you were there and
Yeah,
parking. You
yeah.
maybe
Oh,
spent
yeah.
500
Oh,
or 300?
at least, probably more. Probably more. Yeah,
That's not really.
probably $600 or $700
See, that's not.
for an evening.
That doesn't sound like
It's
an
not a good.
appropriate.
It's not a good use of money.
So where's all that money going to? Shohei's $750 million salary? Is
Yeah.
that what that's paid for? Oh, that's good.
Exactly.
Plus now, you go down to LA and you realize that LA is kind of like, Karen Bass is down there running it,
Mhm.
and it's just full on occupied by the culture club.
Oh my gosh! Like,
Did you guys see Satan? Because I know he's probably at the Liberated Target.
well, Satan was everywhere. Like driving through,
Satan
like
was at the Dodger game?
He was at the Dodger game.
He has a special box. He has a special booth.
Oh yeah,
by his belly.
he's got one of those boxed like suites, There's like
Like,
one of them looked like really hot, so like an inferno. Must have been Satan's.
Like while one guy's at the bat, it's like 3-1 on Jackson, and look, Satan's incredible.
Anyway, I don't know.
Thank you so much. That was such a good idea. That was a great
I
episode.
thought it was fun to talk about.
That was really fun.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm never going to go to another event like that, but
No, you were just saying it kind of reminds me of Roman Colosseum gladiator event.
yeah,
I agree.
exactly. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Bye.